Everyone, this is Amir Tsofati, and I'm from Galilee, and you probably hear in the background a little bit of the action that we have here. The F-16s are taking off and landing probably more than ever before for obvious reasons. And I don't know if you can hear, they just took off. Behind me over there is the Jezreel Valley, right over there. And I'm gonna try and explain what happened today, or it is today, because it took place after 1 a.m. already today, Israel time. So let me wait for a few more minutes. I know I wrote on Telegram that I'm gonna give you a Middle East update, special one at 6 p.m. But I can't for some other reasons. So I just decided to just do it now, outside here and not in my office. So let's see where you guys are from. I know it's super early for Americans. Some of you are from New York, Mississippi is in the house. But where else around the world you guys are from? You can write in the comments. I see people from Florida, Missouri is in the house. People are from Minnesota, Las Vegas. Wow, super early over there. Texas is in the house. UAE, God bless you. California is in the house. Australia is in the house. Manila, Philippines. Hello there. The UK, South Africa. You guys, you might be able to hear or maybe even see some F-16s. Some of them, I don't know. I'll try to show you some, but they're pretty far from here, but they are very loud. Colorado, South Africa, Kuwait, England again. We have people, Philippines, from Cebu. South Carolina is in the house. Michigan is in the house. Where else are you guys from? South Africa again. Dubai. Wonderful. So you guys, if you're ready for a Middle East update, write in the comments or put the thumbs up in the comments if you can see me well and if you can hear me well. Thumbs up in the comment section so I know that everything works, and we'll talk a little bit about what happened a few hours ago. Okay, so Texas and Australia is in the house. Again, more people from South Africa. India, Punjab, India is in the house. Wonderful. Okay, so folks, before I start, may I ask you right now to push or press the share button right now. Okay, press the share button. We want this to get to as many as possible. Wonderful. So folks, over the last few days, there's been a lot of talking about whether Israel should continue the ground maneuver in Gaza. And we had almost every possible European, in the US and Arab countries that are literally warning us from entering into the last stronghold of Hamas, and that's the one in the very southern part on the border with Egypt, and that's Rafah. And it's very interesting because there's over 1.4 million people over there, but from some strange reason, I don't think it's the civilian population that is the problem for people, because obviously even thus far, Israel is not there to kill civilians. And you know, it's very interesting because a lot of people are criticizing Israel for the large number of casualties, but what they don't understand is that Hamas does not count terrorists. They count terrorists not as soldiers, they count terrorists as civilians. So there's not even a single casualty among the Hamas published list that is a soldier on their side. It's all civilians. It's very interesting because 20,000 terrorists were killed, and most of them, or many of them, were wearing civilian clothes. They are dressed as civilians, they are running, and they're grabbing an RPG launcher or hand grenade or an AK-47 or an anti-tank missile, use it, then they drop things and then walk away again as civilians. So the narrative that the Hamas Bureau of Health is releasing, that is easily bought by Al Jazeera and then BBC and then of course CNN, and then is being quoted all over the world, is a false narrative. It's false numbers or false data. At least half, if not more, than of the casualties in Gaza among the Palestinians are terrorists. Pure and simple. Now, so my point is, so far the real civilians are people that we evacuated. We opened humanitarian corridors in the north, and we told them to move to the south. And every time we progressed, we kept opening more humanitarian corridors to get them to move away from the war zone. It's Hamas that stopped the civilian population from moving to a safe place. And this is why in Gaza City, there's about 200,000 people that did not evacuate. Now, that's not the point. The point is that the concern of people that Israel might attack Rafah and then it's too dangerous because it's overpopulated is baloney. You think Gaza was less populated? The city of Gaza was as populated. And we took care of business there. I think there is a satanic plot to keep Hamas alive. Literally, I have no other, Hamas is crumbling. Hamas is dying. Hamas is being defeated. Only in the last 24 hours, we killed over 200 terrorists. In 24 hours. And my point is, that someone wants to keep them alive, and the last 4 battalions out of the 24 that they had, the last 4 are in Rafah. One of these battalions is situated in the Shabura refugee camp. So I'm leading you now to the story of what happened a few hours ago. Now, throughout the last 3 months, Israel has captured quite a few terrorists. A lot of you are asking me, Amir, what are you doing with them? Well, first of all, we interrogate them. We get priceless information. And then we lock them up and they're awaiting trial. But the information that we get, sometimes we get it right on the ground in Gaza before we move them to detention camps within Israel. This is valuable information. And one of the things that a good piece of information that we received a few weeks ago is that a few of the hostages are held in homes above the ground in the heart of the Shabura refugee camp. And the Shabura battalion of Hamas is the one that is kind of guarding them. Israel decided last night to act. Close to 1 a.m., a special force of the Israeli, believe it or not, Israeli police, not even military, a special force of the Israeli police that is expert in releasing hostages, managed to sneak into the heart of the Shabura refugee camp. We use ladders outside of the building to climb up, get to the second floor, blow up the door, kill the 3 Hamas terrorists that were there. They were completely surprised. Okay. Can you hear the F-16s? Whoa, look. I don't know if you can see it right above us. I don't know if you can see. Flying right above us. Okay, never mind. Anyway, he's approaching landing. You want to see? You want to see it? Okay, so why don't we do this? Yep. Can you see it landing? There you go. Another one is approaching. They just came back from attacking in Lebanon. Let's see. There you go. All right, so I think you saw enough. Isn't that cool? Just above me all day long. Anyway, so where were we? So this special unit of the Israeli police that is specializing in releasing hostages climbed up the ladders, blew up the door, killed the 3 Hamas terrorists on the site. Grabbed, first of all, they told the Israeli hostages, we're Israeli police, they show them their IDs. Then they put a armored vest on them, a helmet on them. They hugged them and they lifted them up, protecting them, because they knew that the 60-year-old and 72-year-old hostages are very weak after over 130 days in captivity with not much food. And this is when everything began to flare, because what happened is now we have to take them out and move them to a safe zone where we can get them to the helipad for the Black Hawk of Special Unit 669 that will evacuate them to a hospital. This is when we began to shell and bomb the entire battalion of the Shabura, and over 60 terrorists were killed within less than 30 minutes. And we managed successfully to get them out 45 minutes from the moment we entered to the moment we were back on the helicopter with 2 hostages that are now alive, met with their families. Phenomenal. It was amazing. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen. Israel will enter into Rafah. We're going to find more hostages. We're going to kick the ASS of Hamas and completely annihilate it. And everybody around understand this is their end. But let me explain, and I've said that before, and I'll say that again. The big war is not the one in Gaza. And I'm sorry to tell you that. The big war is the one that is coming up from the north. You see, it's pretty peaceful here. Although you hear the takeoffs and the landings non-stop. We attacked in Syria today, we attacked in Lebanon today, we're attacked in Gaza today. It's non-stop flights. But, as I said, Gaza is just a stroll in the park compares to the war that we are preparing for that is coming in Lebanon. Now, sorry. Now let me explain. Israel is not attacking or starting a war with Lebanon right now, not because we think it's not the right thing to do, it's because we think it's not the right time. We want to finish the job in Gaza. We want to train our troops very well. We want to implement everything we learned in Gaza, because the Gaza campaign made our military sharp in ways that it has never been. The way we operate the ground forces, the engineering corps, and the Air Force, unprecedented. The way we communicate between all forces with the Navy is, of course, unbelievable. What we are now doing is processing everything. We are training our elite soldiers right now. I'm not going to tell you exactly when I believe or when I know that we're going to attack, but I will tell you that there is, unless Hezbollah decides to pull out of southern Lebanon, cross the Litani River, and just completely clean southern Lebanon from its presence, there's going to be a war. Israel is preparing. You don't hear that in the news. But cargo ships loaded with munitions and weapons are arriving almost every week. Cargo planes loaded with munitions and weapons are arriving. And the weapons that we manufacture and we were about to sell, and I have to ask forgiveness from the Filipino people, because on October 8th, when we realized there's a war, quite a few containers of Israeli-made weapons that were already stamped with the Filipino, either police or military, we took them so we can use them. So we're selling weapons, but we found out that we are in a great need at the moment, and there's nothing we can do. We have to use it. Israel is now building up its force. Israel is now building up its, I guess, readiness. And we're going to fight. And I'll tell you something. It's not going to be Gaza. It's not going to be a terror organization that is controlling a very small territory that is densely populated, where there's 100 or at that time it was 250 hostages held under the ground. It's a different opera. With Hezbollah, and I say that from past experience, with Hezbollah, there is a sovereign country, Lebanon. They have airports, they have power plants, they have bridges, they have infrastructures that as a country, I don't think they can lose. The strike that Israel is going to do in the first 24 hours, supposed to completely paralyze the entire country of Lebanon. I think that Hezbollah is watching what's going on. They're up on the tree. They need a ladder to get down from the tree. They see that we're going all the way to the end with Hamas. They can't stop because they promised the Muslim world that they will fight as long as we fight in Gaza. On the other hand, they cannot escalate anything because they don't want the war. And so what's going to happen is a disaster for Lebanon. I believe it's a matter of a month or two of intense fighting. And there's a good chance that by August, maybe, yeah, August will be beyond all of this. Now, there are elections in America in November. In August, there are primaries of the Democratic Party in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. Much of what Israel will do in the next few months depends on the US administration. One day, Israel is going to ask itself, why is it that we allow ourselves to be so dependent on US weapons? Because we can manufacture our own. It's just that we were not ready. One thing is for sure, the elections in America, if they ever happen, are playing a big role in what the White House is going to be able to live with when it comes to the war here. So I'm going to keep you posted, but there's one thing that you need to know. The Israelis are, you see demonstrations, you see some protests, but these are they're very, very few. Unlike the protest before, now the people understand that we don't have any alternative but to finish with Hamas, and there is no alternative but to fight Hezbollah if we don't want another October 7th. And let all the Nazis in the campuses in America and in Europe and other places, let them protest as much as they want. It doesn't cost anything to be stupid. But I can tell you one thing, the vast majority of the populations of Europe and America wake up to understand that what we fight here is what you guys are going to fight later on in your own countries. Because they're not only here, they're everywhere. I will tell you that you can find on my Telegram channel, and by the way, if you're not on my Telegram channel, 95% of the information that is so important is you won't find it elsewhere. And even now, everything I told you 5% of what you may want to know. Go to my Telegram channel, subscribe. It's free, and you will get all the information. And one of the things I posted yesterday is a speech of a sheriff from Ohio. He just came back from DC. He was shocked that the administration and the president will not sit with any of the police chiefs or the sheriff's organizations. And the information that they received. I'm talking about words of a U.S. sheriff from Ohio yesterday. Information that he has, which is information that I could have told you months ago. There are more red flags among U.S. intelligence now than before 9/11. There are more terrorists that have infiltrated America in the last 3 years than in the last 40 years combined. And they're in America. And they don't like that America is kind of allowing Israel to do what Israel is doing right now. And for them, America is big Satan, Israel is small Satan. They don't love you guys. All I can say is that we can already see in European countries how the conservative right is getting stronger and the liberal left is getting weaker. And it's all because everyone can see the stupidity of allowing uncontrolled immigration into countries of mostly people that hate your guts and want to turn you into that same, excuse me for my French, crap that they ran away from. So again, I'm sorry, but I'm getting this is why I'm not online a lot, because this is so, I can't imagine how this world is turning such a, you know, I don't know if it's the, I call it strong delusion, what we see. Everything that is good is being held as bad. Everything that is bad is being held as good. And politicians are, they're so weak. Militaries are so hesitant. I don't know what happened. But I know that we got a wake-up call. We got a wake-up call. And every few days on my Telegram channel, you see how I post. Every few days, I post reminders of what we had on October 7th. So you know, because we know why we're fighting. But a lot of people around the world don't understand why. So it's important to remind you all, remind ourselves as well. So I want to encourage you guys to subscribe to my Telegram channel. And follow the news. There's so much that is going on. We're attacking every day in Lebanon, in Syria. We're attacking also elsewhere, which I'm not at liberty to say. But the big war is not tomorrow, but it's going to be in a few weeks or so, and it's going to be from the north. And for that, we're building up our force, we're training our troops, and it's not going to look good for Lebanon. So just follow me on Telegram. I'll keep you posted. And the moment I move to connect, now if you know what I'm talking about, I'm sending you reports on of the progress of the building. The moment I move to connect, it's going to be every other day news and many other things. We're building a proper place to do those things. So I'll keep you posted. And for now, please share these news. Share. Press the share button. Thank you. God bless you. And shalom.